There's a lot of people that want to spin a block just because they seen the new block that you on. They seen that you moved up to the east side. And they still where you left them at. Hey guys, welcome back to the Tuesday podcast. I'm Cris Cavallari. Today is the first official full day of school. And last night we went for a walk. Well, yesterday we went for, first of all, pause. They went to school last week and then they had 2 days off because of holiday, that whole shebang. And I thought about that. It's like, we'd be like, well, why y'all start? It was cool because it was like a little intro, right? So we went to the park for a walk. Oh shit, I forgot to order something. We went to the park for a walk and Goliath wanted to catch some frogs and he seen other little kids with their tadpole thing. So let me order this real quick because one thing he gonna do is put it in his Amazon cart, but we're not gonna get it right away. Let me get it right now because it's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. So I gotta get it today. So we go on a nature walk. Kids are so busy right now, and I just was really intentional about coming into the studio and being fully for what I had to get done. And one thing about me, I used to just go with the flow of okay, I need a Google Calendar now. I have to learn how to use it, but I need to have a schedule because first of all, thank you guys so much. There's so many things. And we ask for a full plate. So you got to be remembering, we think about that all the time. When you at the barbecue, the cookout, the baby shower, you piling that plate up, we ask for this full feast. So no means am I complaining, but I always think hey, that time that I had time to do what I needed to do, I didn't utilize my time correctly. And while we were at the park, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put up in my Is It Tuesday Instagram with some topics. And I was looking at the topics and I was just blown away because there are already topics that I wanted to speak about. So that made me feel extremely happy because I know you guys are tuned in. I know you guys were in alignment. I know that my tribe is finding me as I'm finding them. So thank you so much for participating in that. And today, I came into the studio, and those of you that don't know, I have multiple businesses. I did not by any means say I'm going to be an entrepreneur when I grow up. Didn't. I've worked every job and I was good at the jobs, but I was not good at following the dress code. I had a lot of questions. So I already knew we should do it this way. I already knew that eventually it worked out the way it worked out and I'm supposed to be here. So kudos to me being, defiant since childbirth. But I looked at a lot of the messages and I was like, okay, when I get to the studio today, because a lot of us think that working for yourself is easy. And it's I don't have a boss, baby. I got a lot of bosses. Everybody that shops my brand, everybody that books my studio for content, for anything, events, I still work for them. It's a beautiful thing, but if you can't work for someone else, you definitely can't work for yourself. It is actually easier to clock in and pretend that you're doing work than it is to show up and work for yourself because you can't pretend. You're going to think that you can show up and pretend at a business that you own and that you operate and that you do the things, and you're going to find out very, very quickly it don't work that way. So last night I set my intentions and I was like, I'm going to come to the studio. Thank God orders are caught up. I'm going to get the little bit of orders that have came in since yesterday out, and then I'm going to record, and then I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. This summer was beautiful. It went by fast. There was a abrupt change, once again, as I said before, in our schedule. But what I realized is adapting, So yesterday we at the park and I'm multitasking while he's flipping and searching for tadpoles and frogs, and the cat is basking in her fucking ambiance. She's literally in her cat stroller. Yesterday was the first day I seen another cat on a leash outside. People always look at me like I'm crazy. She doesn't walk on her leash, but I put her on her leash in her stroller so in case she jumps out and try to, do the shit she do. Cat stuff. I put the question box up. I needed 6 volunteers for coaching, one-on-one sessions. And there's quite a few people that have signed up, and I'm really excited about that. So thank you. I can't even believe that. All these life lessons have worked out. All of these life lessons and things that I just, could be crying and beating myself up about were to get me to this point that I'm at, like to really assist people on their journey. Like, who y'all done fucked up now, okay? To find out that these things were training days. Like these were training lessons. These were training wheels for me to go through what I had to go through to get to where I am today. I'm excited. And as I'm talking about this, my partner in school, my coach, well, she's a coach as well. We work together. Hey, it's been a rough week, not feeling well yesterday. I sent the email. When you send your address, it may be in spam. I'll send it again. I have my first person to do my 12 weeks, so I'm stepping in. Yay, I hope you feel better. I love this. And it's funny because look, I be acting like I can't have my phone like this ain't my shit. Hey. She makes me very emotional. I've never met this lady. But we have a lot of similar situations. Whew, sorry, y'all. See, this is why we need schedules. But she actually needed to send me something for class. And it's funny because she has her first client. So the first 6 people will be a 30-minute one-on-one coaching situation. And then I would pick 2 people for a 90-day program. And I'm really excited about that. But this lady that we just randomly, you get in this Facebook group, be like, hey, I'm looking for a partner for this day. And we just been talking, and we have very similar situations, come from completely different backgrounds, but that's the beauty of it. Because if you've watched these episodes, wherever you grow up at, you just think people don't go through the same things. Like sometimes, and that's one thing that I can honestly say, motherhood is universal. We all go through the same things. We all have this going on or that going on or whatever. It's just a trial and error game. And, sometimes you unfortunately run into a situation that makes it a little bit harder. So finding not randomly because it was God sent, it was all aligned, meeting someone that has been in a situation that I've been in and seeing like how she maneuvered through it, and it just makes it make sense. But yeah, I got on live while I was doing my makeup, and we're just talking, and I'm just like, a lot of times when you are in situations, you think you're alone. You think you're alone because you were taught to not talk about these things, don't take this out the house, and you just had to mask everything that you're going through when you don't know who you're helping. You don't know how you're encouraging someone. So when I get in here and I'm like doing a million things and I still have this to do, and I feel like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get it done? I always realize that I always get it done. I get it done because I have no choice. I have no choice, but I've been through this training day, and I see what I can do. You never know what you can do unless you go through it, right? It's so crazy because a lot of people want to skip that step. A lot of us want to just bypass the hard part. A lot of us just want to, can we skip to no, we can't skip to the good part. We can't press a button and just go back. We can't forward anything. We have to go through it. And if you don't go through it, there is a rewind button now. There may not be a forward like, oh, I gotta skip. I can't skip it. I can't skip this part. I have to get through it. I got to go through it. And that's the only way to get, like, you really got to go through the fire. You can't get out of the building. Like, there's no way to just avoid some things. You have to, because it is for you to learn, right? But as I'm on this live and I'm looking at like how there's so many similarities, and this one girl was like, oh, well, maybe our moms know each other. I'm like, no, that's just a universal thing. We got to start thinking about what was going on in that time zone when people were going through this. What was going on, and that why people do the things that they do. Sometimes we will never know. Sometimes it's not meant for us to know. And a lot of the topics were great. So I think today we're going to talk about spinning a block because that, I don't know why, it was already on my mind to talk about spinning a block. And if you don't know what spinning a block is, it means, hey, all right, I'm gonna let him come. All right, I'm gonna let bygones be bygones. Now, we're gonna talk about spinning the block, but in all seriousness, I thought about talking about spinning the block a couple weeks ago when we went to Sky Zone. It's not Sky Zone. It's a new place, but I ain't gonna say the name because it's still new, and I want to enjoy my time there before the general population comes. I don't want to run into people there. It's a new kids place, but I thought about, like, we were leaving and I thought about this. I said, oh my gosh, it has one of those things like, exit here, in a lot of places you go to, and especially adult places. And they're like, once you leave, you can't come back in. No re-entry. That's what it's called. And I thought about that when I seen the girl say, let's spin the block, yay or nay. And then earlier, it was another podcast. I don't really listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts, but on Instagram, I started following this podcast. We follow each other, whatever, and I heard the women talking about it. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, but um, she was like, "Yeah, I finally spent the block on this guy. We was dealing with each other 7 years ago, and it now was the sex was horrible." She just talking, and everything in my mind was like, I was about to comment like, "You've outgrown him." So when somebody be like, "Oh my God, he came back," and I don't remember it being like this. No, it was bad when you was there, but you were in a different place. You were on his level. Now you're not on his level no more. You leveled up on him. So now, of course, when it comes back around, it's not the same. But when I seen a young lady say that, she wasn't really that young. So I was just like, that's the trap that a lot of us fall in. We're not patient enough to wait for the new. We're just like, you know what? This is familiar. I'd rather a old body than a new body. Some of y'all be like, I'm gonna have a fifth baby by this motherfucker, even though he not doing nothing for the second, the third, and none of them. I'ma just keep going. I was looking like, and I'm joking, but I'm not joking. I'm joking, but I'm not joking. When someone decides to spin a block on you, or I want to tell you something. It's like a drive by. Some people spin a block to finish the job. Some people spin a block because they realize that the blessings are no longer there because you're not attached to them. Look at that confirmation. Some people spin a block because they see that, damn, I chose wrong. Damn, that was the truth. And this could be in platonic relationships, romantic. It doesn't matter. And sometimes we think like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And sometimes God will remove things from you so this person can go grow, you can grow. We're not talking about any relationship where it was not. I'm being very careful with this. Where was it just like it just was wrong timing? Because I do believe that things could be wrong timing. Like you have to grow, they have to grow, they got to go through their lessons. But if this was something that you, in fact, in your heart, know that it was just not reciprocity, it was not what it just wasn't it. And you would know what that is. Like you would know. Like if you really weighed out the pros and cons in this relationship, this friendship, you would know if this is okay to spin a block. I personally, even if we reconnected, you will never have the same access to me as you once had. And you ain't got to worry about me even wanting it because it's the same. It's mutual. I'm never going to hold you in the regard that I held you in the first time. And I know so many people be like, all I gotta do is post this pic. All I gotta do is show him. People seen how great you were. You still pretty. People seen how beautiful you were. People know how giving you are. They just realize like, all right, I need some more of that. Sometimes they leave thinking that, they got what they needed. And then they realize, hey, if I'm not connected to this person, I'm not reaping the benefits. I don't have their protection. A lot of people are protected because they connected to you. A lot of people are blessed because they're reaping your blessings. The overflow is spilling on them. You so close to them that whatever you have is going to naturally shine. You can't be like, sitting next to me and whatever's shining on me is eventually going to rub off on you. So what it is a lot of these people sometimes realize, wait a minute, life seems damn. But I want you to realize something. Not everybody spinning the block is spinning the block because they just woke up one day and realized that how great you were. They're spinning the block because they knew that their life was a lot different when they were attached to you. There's a lot of women right now, honestly, that are questioning if they should go back to an ex or return his phone call or unblock him. Let me unblock him just to see if he gonna message me. Be like the Sky Zone. Be like the club. Be like the brunch spot. Once you leave, there's no re-entry. There's no running in and out of here. Be your grandmother. The AC is on. You see, it's so funny that motherfucking AC was just on. Hold up a minute. Ain't you letting my good air out? You're going to go back and you're going to realize nothing has changed. And now you have to start over because you knew all along you should have never busted. Baby, this needs to be a one-way street in Philly. Like one-way street where people park. Goliath says that all the time now, like, oh, why are people parking on the sidewalk? He hates to see that. And I'm like, some people do that. These are small streets, blah, blah, blah. So people don't hit their car. You need to be a one-way street. A one-way Philadelphia street. A one-way street that all I could do is go straight. I can't bust a Yui because these houses are so close and somebody's parked on the sideway, what's this called? Sidewalk, that I can't bust a Yui. There's no way I can either stop the car or I could keep going straight. It's scary. And we are so, like, really, for real, we don't have as much patience as we think we do. You get bored with waiting, but you don't understand that boredom is going to be the death of you. You have so many things to do. I remember working on this job and they're like, it's always something to do. You can polish all this furniture. You can dust these books off. You can read these books. You can, you can do something else. You have a lot of time to do something else. And a lot of times you're like, let me just hear what this person got to say. You sometimes don't realize it. You want to give, someone a second chance, but they've shown you the first time. You didn't appreciate me the first time. And now because you don't have that light to keep you warm. You took my kindness for weakness. You played on it or you chose wrong. You went where you thought the grass was greener and you realized it wasn't. You realized it was fake. You realized that once you went to water that grass and you looked closely, it was actually one of these carpets from Home Depot, and you lift it up and you realize, oh, wait a minute. It's concrete underneath here. There's no soil. There's no growth here. So for the young lady that said, what do you feel about circling the block? Yay or nay? Fuck no. When a person decides to leave you alone, or you decide, however it goes, be so confident in your decision that, hey, and start writing it down. Start being realistic, because a lot of times y'all journal and y'all are lying in these journals. Be for real, because I've always said I never journal. I'm never consistent with my journals. But let me find an old fucking journal, because we got about 50 of them. Let me find an old journal where I say, oh my gosh, I didn't like this, 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 this. I complained about this. This was going on. When I said this and I just asked for a little bit more, they didn't have it. And I'm not talking about, see, y'all may think I'm talking about something material. There's more. There's more than materials that I need. If I go back right now and a person is trying to spin a block, if I go back to that day where I pulled up to their house and it was 11 o'clock at night and it was dark. And I called and I said, "Hey, I'm here." And they said, "The door's open." Would I want a partner that's not greeting me at the door to make sure that I'm safe? Would I want someone to walk me to the door to see me off? These are small things. These are something so small. But this is the things that I think about when I'm thinking about if I want to allow somebody to spin a block. They're not, the bare minimum was too much then. It was a simple gesture. It was something that I need as a woman. It's something that I long for. I long for safety. Did I feel safe with this person? Were my needs met? Did this person put me first and not like fuck everything else, but did this person put in that real time like I put in? No. So when you start asking, should I circle the block? You don't need to ask a stranger because we don't know what y'all been through. You need to ask yourself. If I went back to where we were, if it started like if this was to be continued and there was no clean slate, there was no new page, would I want to continue to write this story with this person? Because I don't know about y'all, but let's just make this a relationship conversation, a romantic one. What I don't want to have during my vows, when I'm standing, whether it's in a courthouse or in a fucking beautiful garden in Italy, whether it's in a church, wherever we are, I don't ever want to hear. It took me a while to realize that you was the one that I need. You stuck around when I did put you through this, that. You know, I don't want I don't want it to be. Thank you for the struggle that you've endured while dealing with me. Thank you for lowering your standards to have me. Thank you for sticking by my side while I embarrassed you. Thank you for pouring so freely as I drained you. I never told you thank you then, but I'm telling you now. Because without you, I realized I didn't have the abundance. I never, if our vows are anything like that, who's the winner here? If you have to see my greatness after the fact, that is your that's what the creator got for you. He has to show you that how you didn't see her greatness. Stop being flattered by somebody coming back. Stop being flattered that somebody is circling the block because they missed the opportunity with you. That's all they did. It's a missed opportunity. I'm popping today. I'm grateful. I am grateful for being able to connect the dots for people. I'm grateful that God is using me in a way that I would have never thought. I used to get popped as a kid or told to be quiet or, I have questions. And the thing is, you're going to appreciate me the first time. I've overly told people, hey, da 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 da. You sometimes, you can't make people drink. You can't lead. You can lead them anywhere. If people have free will here, and so do you. So even when it comes to circling a block, and even when it comes to, you know, certain situations, you have to understand. This we can't play. We don't know how long we got here. That we are passing through. We are visiting here. The more you allow somebody to play with you and spin a block, is the less respect they have for you. If you really think that somebody say, you know what, I'm gonna do right by her after I dogged her out, after I withheld my love and affection for someone that was doing so much. And that's the thing. A lot of times we think it's money, 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 money. A person that asks you for nothing, what's that saying? The person that asks you for nothing should get everything. That's not true in a lot of senses. Because a lot of times you give, and you definitely gonna get nothing. Most of the time, these people won't even say thank you. They won't acknowledge it until after you removed all that you were doing. I realized at one point I was giving somebody something when I had nothing, when I needed just as much as I was giving. And at that moment, when you ask yourself, should somebody be able to spin the block on you? You have to start thinking, was I fulfilled in this relationship, in this friendship? Was it equal give and take? A lot of us, when you say it out loud, you be mad as shit. Some of these questions, you don't have to ask a stranger. You asking a stranger for real, because if you ask your friends and your friends know all that they've done, they could tell you, bitch, are you dumb? I'm going to tell you the same thing. Bitch, is you dumb? He's coming to finish you. She's coming to finish you, because I realize there's a lot of men here. Let people really miss you. And not the games that y'all play like, he gonna miss me when I'm wait till you see this little selfie I pulled. Bitch, you been pretty. Sir, you been handsome. You been the pick of the litter. They just was seeing how dumb. Sorry. They were seeing how dumb they can toy with you. People really know what they doing. They know what they doing. They know what they've done. And for you to think that spinning the block is an honor, for somebody to start their vows with, thank you for sticking around while I figured out if I wanted to deal with you, absolutely the fuck not. Our good heart is what keeps us in these situations. Because you want to give too many chances and too many excuses. And I'm not saying turn cold on a person and just dog them out and be like, fuck you, you ain't see my value. No. The time is up. When God brings you into someone's life and you guys fulfill this contract that you have with each other, if they don't do right by you, when they have the opportunity to do right by you, God is going to remove you from their lives. When you hold on to something so tight that is not serving your highest self, who's distracting you from your purpose, they will be removed, whether you kick or scream, or whether you volunteer to let it go. When you say, should I spin the block? Should I let this person spin the block? Start being realistic with yourself. Start saying, ooh. Because when you think about it, you're going to say, what was going on in my life that allowed me to accept something less than I deserve? Was I actually loving on me at that moment? Or was this person a distraction from all the things that I had going on? I joke a lot, y'all. I joke a lot. But you got to show me one time. That is one thing about me. Before it was a quote and it was cool to say, I'm standing on business. The only thing that I've allowed, and this is why I say it depends on what it is. There was one friend that I had, and I had this friend for a long time, and I love her dearly. But I was trying so hard to get her to see what I seen in her that I start looking like the bad guy. I was literally rooting for her. And I thought by me overly rooting for her, some of that would rub off on her and she would see what I see. Sometimes people are separated from you so they can see that this whole time you was trying to tell them. You were trying to show them. People have to see it when they see it. And sometimes it's going to be two missed boats in the night. Like sometimes it's not lined up. Once those ships sail past each other, it's that U-turn is going, by the time they get to you, you somewhere else. So I can joke around when I say it like, oh yeah, yeah, some people are spinning the block to finish the job. Some people are coming, that ex that had a baby on you, and you blame the girl, but you took him back, and now you think it's cute that you help him raise the baby. Baby, you ain't never gonna sleep well at night because you have evidence in front of your face of that hurt. So certain things, oh, that one friend, sometimes God gotta remove you from somebody's life just so they can see how much of a blessing you really were. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of y'all will still give them access, and it doesn't have to be no ill, like, ill, yeah, you missed out. It just have to be like, yo, we in two different places. Even this friend that I love dearly, it's a struggle to think, damn, I wish I could just call her and tell her these things. But how many more years do you have where y'all friends every year, then 6 months y'all don't talk, then y'all friends again, a year y'all don't talk? Like that's too much. Y'all trauma bonding. Once you heal and they don't, y'all don't have nothing in common no more. There's a lot of people that want to spin a block just because they seen the new block that you on. They seen that you moved up to the east side. And they still where you left them at. And the only time they're going to see you is when you going to visit somebody that, like, and that's up to you if you going back around town. But that's why they say when people, move and they go to different places, they like, oh, you might stop by for the holidays and see the people that you still cool with that live there. You visiting, you stopping by, but you don't live there no more. Spinning the block is dangerous. Because you might spin the block and it may be people that you know that you still cool with on that block. But remember, it's somebody down the block that y'all not seeing eye to eye. You putting yourself in jeopardy. Let's think about the athletes. Let's think about the rappers. Let's think about these people that go back. And it's nothing wrong with giving back to your community, going back to your community. But you've outgrown this space. So now when you go back and somebody spin the block, and you got to always look over your shoulder, because what's the agenda? What is the motive? I was dealing with somebody and I had all the greatest intentions. And I said, you know what, God, I'm gonna give love a try. I'm actually gonna be present. I'm gonna be what I'm expecting. And that's the thing. Anything that I am, I require, I give. Some people ain't never have somebody like that in their life. They've had takers. So guess what? They've been conditioned to just be how they are. They think that you need something from them. Baby, I'm solid on my own. I'm whole. So when I'm coming because I want to. I know my power. I know who I am. And now you do. The only problem is it's too late. Because you had ample amount of opportunities to say, damn, this person is going through all of this, but they showing up for me? This person ain't asking for nothing? Don't spin a block because you're bored. Go fucking work out. Go get in the best health. Go get your money up. Go get mentally and spiritually prepared for what is coming. Because I tell you one thing, you keep spinning the block, you're delaying your blessings. They're still coming. But God said, well, never mind. I was about to send her this, but never mind. Because you bored. Because you horny. Because you don't want to go by yourself. So you say, oh, girl, can you come? Oh, me and her always have a good kiki. How long is it going to last? So before you decide if somebody can spin the block on you, or if you want to spin a block on them, ask yourself, does this look like where I'm going? A lot of shit is when you looking in the rearview mirror, the further you get from it, you can't even see it no more. And you can leave people in love. You can say, damn, because that's a lot of things that keep us tied to people, is the memories. Oh my God, remember that time? Remember that time? And you think about it, you're like, bitch, that was 12 years ago. We ain't had that many great times after that time. I don't wish you ill. I don't want to see you in any turmoil. I really wish the best for you, and I hope you figure it out. This friend that I had, it was so hard for me to leave it alone because our friendship has been like that for 20 years. And I would be like, well, this is my oldest friend. I've had this friend since ninth grade. This is my friend. But then I had to think, this friend did a lot of, and I'm sure I've done a lot of things too, and I've said a lot of things when we both were in places of hurt, when we didn't know each other, ourselves, when we didn't know how to be givers and takers. We didn't know that reciprocity. We didn't know these things. We were young. And that's okay to miss and grieve people that you are no longer in connections with. But sometimes the connection was at that moment. That was that part of your life. That was that journey. You're in a different place. There's nothing. What are we going to just keep talking about the past? And girl, that was years ago. We 40, 50 years. Like, what are we doing? I want what I need now. I want to welcome in those things that are aligned with where I am now in my life. Because the most dangerous thing to do is reconnect with someone that is still where they are, where y'all used to be, and you're not there anymore. It's going to start a whole new cycle of, unfortunately, it could breed some jealousy. It could breed some like, oh, well, they're going to start being in their feels. That new guy, that old guy who did it, what makes you think he about to give you what you want now? And first of all, why would you even want what he want to give you now? Because you were capable of giving it to me then and you didn't. Now the price is higher. Now what I want is higher because I've elevated. I only wanted time. You couldn't give me time? That is the most valuable thing a person could give you. Listen, you spin the block, I'm going to put you on a t-shirt because he's coming to finish you. Anyway, thank you so much for joining this week's episode of Is It Tuesday podcast, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.